And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the next episode of New Earth TV Live. It's great to be with you all once again. Another exciting Friday. So for today, we're going to be doing a guided meditation here very shortly. Last week, we did one on a multi-country guided meditations. We're going to do the same thing as well, too, right? So what you'll do is just place your preferred country in the chat, and then I'll basically just be going through the list of countries selected, and we're going to be basing the mass meditation on the countries that are suggested in the chat. So we'll be getting to that here in just a few minutes. First thing we're going to do is get to some announcements, and then we'll get started with today's broadcast. So here we go.
The world's first spiritual rejuvenation technology in the form of modern everyday items has arrived through AetherX. AetherX offers transcendental healing products that work to detoxify, replenish, and restore you on a physical, emotional, and mental level. The Aether Bed Kit takes the form of a powerful rejuvenation technology that utilizes your own life force energy to restore organs, glands, bodily systems, the energy system, and replenish emotional and mental well-being. The AetherX card decks, the healing code cards, eliminate and detoxify physical, emotional, and mental conflicts within the body. 44 beautifully designed geometrical cards specifically designed to work on the major areas of the body, encouraging natural recovery and increased vitality. The healing code cards come in 3 different themes: the body, mind, and energy decks, each with their own specific design to renew and rejuvenate the body. AetherX apparel and accessories that offer comfortable attire and beautiful geometrical and image designs to detoxify, strengthen, and rejuvenate the body. Download our collection of free sample images and cards from our website so that you can witness the benefits of AetherX spiritual technology for yourself. Visit our website now at atherx.co and begin your rejuvenation journey with us.
Okay, so that is the I'm trying to say it like she is. AetherX, not really AetherX, but that's just how she pronounced it. The AetherX commercial. So the good news, guys, is I'm currently creating a brand new free trial symbol. This free trial symbol will be specifically available for people who are nonverbal. Okay, so I'm looking to get that taken care of either today or no later than this weekend, getting it up on the AetherX website. So just as I've talked about here through the Etherbed, so if you look at the bottom left-hand corner here, you see that blue snowflake geometry. Okay, so basically I'm creating a new geometry that'll be specifically for the nonverbal. Okay, and basically for people who have autism or anything else, even if it's just for yourself where you don't really want to feel like you want to activate it through voice or through thought, right? And if you just want to basically start using it right away, you just put your hand down on it, or you put your physical weight down upon the new nonverbal trial symbol. Okay, so that is being created. I should have it rolled out no later than Sunday this week. I'm going to try either today or tomorrow. I just have to see what my schedule is like, because I'm still doing a lot of stuff with AetherX right now. I still want to try and put some videos up here today, or not really today, but this weekend as well, for New Earth teachings also. So busy, right? And of course, still working with a lot of AetherX stuff also. But I'm going to work to get that done. So before Sunday this weekend, I will have the brand new AetherX non-verbal free trial symbol that will be available. Okay, it's a green pattern. So you'll see it on the website there that you guys can freely download. Okay, so again, if you have someone in your household who again is nonverbal, then you can print that out, and like I said, all they do is they just start touching it. They just start touching it, and now it starts working with it. They take their hand off it, it doesn't work. They put their hand on it, it works. They lay their body down on it, it works. They get up from it, it doesn't work. Okay, so that's how it works. Okay, keeping it very, very simple, because there's been quite a few requests for that. I'm getting quite a few people who are emailing me quite often and just asking, well, Brad, I have a person in my family, they have severe autism, and they can't communicate verbally, and I know that they would love to try this free trial symbol, but they can't really use it because they cannot communicate with the traditional one, the standard one. So this is why I've created the non-verbal one altogether, okay? Brandy here says, my son is autistic and does talk if he chooses to. Can I activate it for him? Well, here's the thing, guys. You won't need to activate it. The symbol I'm talking about is completely it's for the non-verbal, okay? It's even for yourself if you don't want to activate it, okay? So you would print it out on your printer. Let's say, for example, that this is the symbol, okay? So what you would do is you print it out in the printer, okay? Printer prints it out, and you're just placing your hand on it. As soon as your hand is placed on it, it works. As soon as your hand is placed on it, it goes into healing mode, okay? If this is on your bed and you're laying down on your bed with the symbol, instantly goes to work, okay? So it is your touch, it is your weight. So as soon as you're putting your touch and your weight on the new nonverbal symbol that's coming, it works, okay? So it's different from the traditional blue symbol that I have, right? That's the traditional symbol where you activate it through thought or you activate it through words, okay? So this again has the healing mode function of the ether bed, okay? If you guys do not know what I'm talking about, you need to go to atherx.co, okay? Go to the website, go to the free samples page, right? It says samples on the nav bar. Click on that. You'll hear everything about what this does, okay? Another thing you can do is you can just go onto the products contents page and you can look at the AetherX bed or the ether bed, okay? And you can see everything that you do. Guys, don't be afraid to explore the website, okay? All the information is there. So rather than me talking here for a few minutes all about this stuff, just go to the website, makes it simple, okay? Read all the stuff that's there. I'm going to be making some videos very soon with the brand new AetherX YouTube channel, okay? There's an AetherX YouTube channel that has just recently been created, and I'm going to start producing some content for that here very soon as well too. When it's all ready to go, I'll be promoting it here through New Earth Teachings. So I'll be having my New Earth Teachings channel and my AetherX channel on YouTube. There's also going to be an AetherX TikTok channel, okay? There's going to be an AetherX Instagram channel. There's an AetherX Facebook group, okay? So I'm getting on the social media with AetherX. I'm also working to promote AetherX to the younger people as well too, right? A lot of people on this channel are basically about my age, right? As I'm 43. So my demographic usually for this channel is averaging between like 35 to 75. That's great. I love that. But I also want to appeal to the younger people as well too. So that's really what AetherX is going to be doing also. We're going to be attracting the 18-year-olds, the 16-year-olds, right? The 20-year-olds. We want to start getting the younger people involved in AetherX as well too. So that's my plan also, is to, again, have a wide range of demographic for ages, but also getting the young people in there, right? Because when the young people are behind you, they really fuel the fire here. So yes, I'm going to get the young audience interested in AetherX as well too, okay? So, like I said, a lot of plans, a lot of ideas coming together. So just keep in touch with atherx.co. Go check out the website. Again, the new nonverbal symbol is going to be coming here very shortly. Okay, so next is private sessions, distance healings by donation, one-to-one private sessions, 3-question private email sessions. Okay, so tarot readings, higher self-communication. I am still booking for the month of February, okay, but it's just on Mondays. Okay, I basically had to scale my sessions down to 1 a week because AetherX is taking up a lot of my time. It's just all part of running a very big company, right? This company that I'm creating, guys, is not a proprietorship, okay? It is a very big company, and I have people that are working with me. So again, this is why it takes a little bit more of my time to get this team together, to get this company together, to bring all this stuff together. So this is why my private sessions are kind of down just to Mondays now. But anyways, you can check these out, newearthteachings.com, for distance healing requests, private sessions, and 3 questions by email. And of course, everything on this YouTube channel is backed up onto Odyssey. So New Earth Teachings backup channel is odyssey.com/@newearthteachings. And you can find that in the video description and follow there too, if you like. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started today with New Earth TV Live. So we're going to do meditation first. We're going to do the multi-country, because you guys were putting some requests there for multi-country healing for your own respected country. So we will do that. Then we're going to get into distance healing. We'll do a few individual distant healing requests and a group healing. Then we're going to get into Q&A. Okay, so if you guys do have some questions, once we get closer to that time, you can feel free to put some questions on the chat. All right, so first and foremost, we will get into guided meditation. So I'm just going to turn on this screen. That's not a subtle body meditation. This will be multi-country. So I'm just going to go through the chat because you guys have put some countries down. Okay, so the first one we're going to work with today will be Sweden. Okay, we're going to do Sweden first. So what I want you guys to do right now is just get yourself nice and relaxed, nice and comfortable, making sure the body is free of any tension, making sure the spine is nice and straight. Just going ahead now and closing your eyes. And I want you just to follow your breath right now as you take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, we're going to do that 2 more times. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more time. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And just letting yourself relax now. And just tuning into the body. Just feeling your life force energy flowing through the body. And just feeling yourself stepping out of the physical body. Feeling your astral, your transient body, flowing out from the top of your head and just starting to make your way upwards. Moving further upwards past your space. Moving hundreds of feet in the air, and moving thousands of feet in the air, so that you can see the giant landmass below you. You can see entire continents. You can see the vast oceans of the earth from your skyward view as an astral body. What I want you to do right now is just placing your hand or hands upon the heart. And I want you to feel the heart opening up like a blossoming flower. And just feel all of the light coming out of the heart and just flowing through your entire body, just channeling all of that beautiful, pure heart energy through the arms, into the palms, through the hands. This represents your pure heart energy. Everything that represents your goodness, your purity, your love will flow through your hands. And you're just going to hold your hands in transmission posture, just as you see me doing now. Okay? And when we get to the specific country, we're just going to radiate that pure love energy towards that country. And we're going to do a total of that for a total of 1 minute. Okay? So right now, I just want you to say within your mind, I am traveling overhead Sweden. Okay, I'm traveling over Sweden. Okay, so I just want you to feel like you're moving right over to Sweden. If you don't know exactly where it is, don't worry about it. Just say Sweden. Okay, your true consciousness knows what that is. Okay, and you can even just say Sweden in your mind. Okay, I want you just to hold your hands up. And as we're hovering over Sweden right now, we are just radiating that pure love energy over Sweden. So just feel like these ripples and waves of healing energy is flowing out of your hands. And it's almost like sonic vibration. It's like you're just sending out these pulses of healing energy from your hands right towards the landmass of Sweden. And you're feeling Sweden vibrating. You're feeling it vibrating with this pure love energy. Just as if you were to see these pulses of white light coming out of your hands and just pulsating towards the country of Sweden and feeling that entire country vibrating like a vibration plate. You're feeling the vibration, you're feeling its love energy get picked up and it's oscillating on that love frequency that you're transmitting. So again, you're just tuning into your heart. Take a moment if you need to. Just think of something very loving. Think of something very compassionate, very joyful. very peaceful. I want you just to put that inside yourself. And just know that what you're feeling right now, it's vibrating through your hands. And it's vibrating upon the country of Sweden. Okay? So I want you just to keep that there. And we're going to meditate for 1 minute, sending that love energy to Sweden. Okay, so 1 minute beginning now. And just taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Okay, very good. So infinite love and blessings to Sweden. So the next country we're going to work with is we're going to go to Denmark. Okay, so I want you just to feel yourself floating over Denmark. And if you don't know where it is, just say the word Denmark, because that's where your energies are going to be going to. Okay, the country of Denmark. And we're going to be sending love energy there as well. Okay, so same posture. Okay, that transmission posture. Feeling that pure love, that happiness, that joy and compassion within your heart. And just vibrating those waves now right into the land of Denmark. Okay, so we're just sending it to Denmark. Feeling that vibration upon the country of Denmark. We're going to do that now for a whole minute. So 1 minute focusing on Denmark, starting now. Okay, deep breath in and out. With infinite love and appreciation to the country of Denmark. Okay. Now we're going to move on. We're going to go to the next country now. We're going to go to Canada. Okay, so we're going to fly over Canada right now, looking down upon Canada. Okay, just putting our hands now in transmission posture. Again, just feeling that love, that warmth, that compassion and joy that you're feeling inside your heart right now. Let that radiate through your vibrational love energy that you are sending now to Canada. Okay, and we're just sending those vibrations out. We're feeling the country of Canada vibrating. Vibrating with our pure, loving, joyful, compassionate energies. Okay, so we're going to do this now for 1 minute. 1 minute now for Canada. Okay, taking a deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, infinite love and blessings to Canada. All right. Okay, next country we're going to go to is we're going to go to India. Okay, so we're going to move ourselves now to India. Floating over the landmass, the subcontinent of India. Okay, having our hands in transmission posture. Again, just feeling that love, that warmth, that joy, and that compassion within your heart. Okay, and just radiating that pure love vibration upon the subcontinent of India. Okay, just feeling that vibrations, feeling of India vibrate, that strong resonance of love. Okay, so we're going to do this now for 1 minute. 1 minute for India. Okay, so deep breath in, deep breath out. Infinite love and blessings to India. Okay. Final country we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to do the United States. Okay, so we're going to go over to the USA. All right. We're going to do some healing there for the USA. So just feeling yourself hovering above the USA, having your hands in transmission posture. Again, feeling the love energy flowing through your body. All that love, warmth, compassion, and joy. And vibrating that love energy towards the United States. Feeling the United States vibrating very, very strong with the love energy that you're sending in now. Okay? So we'll have 1 minute now with the United States. And taking a deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, infinite love and blessings to the USA. So very good, guys. So these are the 5 countries that we're going to be working on today for the mass meditation. So when we come back next week, we're going to do another Earth meditation, okay, working with the entire planet. So infinite love and blessings to everybody who has participated with this today. If you're watching this on recording, hope you have participated with it as well too. The more that we're just putting this mutual intent towards these countries that we are volunteering to have work on, the better the effect is going to come. Okay, so infinite love, guys. Thank you so much. Feel yourself, your astral body, coming back into your physical body now. So just feel yourself returning to your space. Feel yourself returning back into the physical body, coming back in. Really just grounding that energy, grounding that astral exploration that you have done. Feeling all that love energy flowing through your physical body as well. And thank you very much once again. Om Shanti Shanti. Namaskar. Okay. So thank you, everybody. We're going to go ahead now and move on to distance healing. So let me just go ahead and change windows. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to go through the chat and see if there's any healing requests on the chat. I'm going to take 5 individual volunteers. Then we're going to do some group healing. Then we'll be getting right into Q&A. Okay, so if you guys have your questions ready, feel free to place your questions in the chat. Please, guys, remember, semi-personal or general questions, no personal questions. Personal questions are for private sessions. All right, so I'm going to scroll up right to the top of the chat, and we'll start off firstly with Samar. Samar says, hey, Brad, can you do a healing on my dad for his overall health, his organs? Okay, so very important, guys, just making sure that your request is just a single request. So this is basically just a full body request for Samar's dad, so that's not a problem. So just single requests only, okay? So yes, Samar, I will certainly work with your dad. And so I'll be calling in his higher self to be present with me, and I'll be working to help him with his full body. So working not just with his organs, but the entire body itself, okay? And Samar, if you want to send some love in the background, if anybody else wants to send some love in the background to Samar's father, please feel free to do so, all right? So I'll just take a moment now, connecting with Spirit. Okay. I'm going to call in Samar's dad, his higher self, to be present with me now. Okay, I can feel his presence here now. Okay, and we're just going to open up the heart light, expanding it out. As far and as wide as it can go, this represents Samar's dad's love, trust, and faith. Bringing those hands back together. I completely believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. All right, we will go ahead now and begin. God is making him better. God is making him better. God is making him better. Infinite love and blessings to Samar's dad. Thank you very much, Samar. So Samar, like I said, just keep sending him lots of love each and every day. Okay, this really, really helps him as you're present with him. One of the things I can also suggest is just working together with his an exercise with the white light energy ball technique and putting that in his solar plexus, okay? So Samar, just go to my YouTube channel, just do a search if you need to, and type in white light energy ball technique, okay? My video will come up, check out that video, and just perform that on him daily, okay? And that will also help him tremendously. That Spirit is working with him right now, helping him through the process, okay? Let me just take a moment here, guys. I think my camera looks a little bit blurry, so see if I can fix that up. Yeah, it's definitely blurry. So. There we go. That's better. Okay, so thank you so much, Samar. So work with that exercise. That will help him tremendously also. Thank you very much. Okay, we got 2 donations here. So I got one here from Selma, and I have another one here from Martine. Okay, so Selma, I'll get to you first, and Martine, I'll get to you second. So Salma says here, please do healing for my older daughter. She is completely brainwashed by academia. Okay. Well, I'm not here to deprogram people, Salma. Okay. So what I can do instead is I can send them love energy. Okay. So we're basically just going to shroud them with love energy. All we're here to do is just send love, is bring love and bring compassion. If a person is feeling that they're very, very heavily influenced by something regarding academia, right? So that's kind of like how we would look at our parents or some members of our family. They're watching the news a lot and they're very much attached to what's on the mainstream media. I can't take that away from people, okay? I don't have the power to do that. Spirit doesn't have the power to do that because you, that person, is holding on to it. Spirit cannot take away what you hold on to, okay? It's a very important lesson we have to remember, guys. If you're holding on to something for dear life, Spirit can't take that away from you, okay? That's what you are giving your power to. Spirit cannot interfere with that. But what we can do is we can soften. We can bring some softening, we can bring some love, we can bring some harmony towards that person to help them soften, to realize that what they're holding on to is just an illusion, is an attachment. So that's what we will do today for your older daughter, Sama, okay? I didn't get her name, so I'll just refer to her as Sama's daughter, all right? So Sama, again, if you want to send love energy to your daughter as well too, if everybody else wants to, you can do that as well. So I'll be calling in Sama's eldest daughter and doing some work on her, but I'm just going to refer to her as Sama's daughter. All right, so let's go ahead and begin now. So I will be calling in Sama's daughter. Okay, her higher self is now present with me here. Okay, we're just going to send her lots of love, just softening her, just letting her know that everything's okay, everything's perfect. Okay, that's what we can do. Just send the softness. Send the subtlety, send the silence. And when they feel it at a very strong level, they'll learn to let go, okay? Okay, so opening up the heart, expanding the heart light. Bringing those hands back, I completely believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. Okay, we will now begin. God is making her better. God is making her better. God is making her better. Okay. Love and blessings. Thank you very much, Sama. So like I said, just keep sending love to your daughter, okay? Like I said, when somebody has a hold of something, we can't let that go, okay? Another important thing, guys, we have to remember, because, right, I've shared this with you guys before, but it's important for me to keep sharing it until it's truly understood through you, is that you are the center of your own change in life, okay? Imagine a Rubik's Cube here, everyone, okay? Through my hands, my own Rubik's Cube here can shift, because this is me shifting my own life. This is me shifting my own directions. Now, if I hand that Rubik's Cube over to you and you take it, you won't be able to move it. It's like trying to move concrete, okay? It'll just turn into a concrete block in your hand. You won't be able to touch it. So when you hand it back to me, it becomes a movable Rubik's Cube again, okay? This is the exact same thing in regards to you trying to change other people, okay? You're trying to take their Rubik's Cube out of their hands, but you can't move it. It becomes a concrete cube. You can't move it. It's immovable. So what you're doing is you're handing it back to them, and they have their cube. Okay? When you start to shift your cube, your perceptions of people, places, events, and things change. which means if you have a lot of bullies in your life, but you learn how to surrender to that, the bullies start to vanish. But if I try to change outside those bullies, they get worse. Okay? It's another analogy, as if you were in a movie theater and you pulled out a black marker and tried to go right up on stage, right up to that screen, and started to draw on that screen to try and change the image. You can't do it. Okay? All you're doing is scribbling on a screen, but that's not going to affect the movie that's playing. This is very important for you guys to understand, is that as you start to shift your own Rubik's Cube, as you start to shift your own perspectives with everything, because of the traumas and the reactions that you're constantly holding on to yourself, that is what brings about the change in your life. I'm telling you this, guys, because this is how it is. This is the truth, right? Because it's exactly how I've changed my life. Shifting my Rubik's Cube. So that people who I felt was quite detrimental in my life, I surrendered to all that. I let all that go, right? You forgive it all. That becomes the forgiveness, becomes the effect. Those people are no longer in your life anymore because you've let it go. You've surrendered it. Okay? So Sama, this is the whole idea. Even though your eldest daughter is completely brainwashed by academia, you can't do anything about that. Okay? The only thing you can do is send love and blessings. Most importantly, you need to go inside yourself to see how this is causing you to react. You're affected by her suffering. You're reacting to her suffering. And you're taking it on yourself. And that's what's causing you to suffer. So when you surrender that, and you're moving your Rubik's Cube around, and you let go and say, okay, I may not agree that my daughter is brainwashed by academia. I'm trusting in the process that she will know how to live her own life. And I'm always here to support her, to love her, to bring her compassion, to help her out in any way. But I'm not going to dictate to her about how she should live her life. If she needs to go through this academia phase, then that's what she needs to go through. But she has my love no matter what. And I'm now letting it all go. You will notice how everything changes so quickly. And you will notice how miracles will start to manifest in your reality very quickly surrounding your daughter. You will see how miracles manifest very quickly by you letting these things go. Because you are in harmony with the natural laws. And I'm going to do a natural laws video. Okay? I'm going to certainly work on that. Okay? About natural laws and about adopting suffering. Okay? And clearing all that away. And once you do that, you're free. You're free. Your daughter starts making these new strides, starts making these new changes, because you're no longer of the magnetic coherency to bringing somebody like that in your life. You've let it go. That's how you see change happen outwards, guys. The Rubik's Cube is the analogy of your inner processes. When you shift the Rubik's Cube, everything outward has to change as well. The inside affects the outside. The outside does not affect the inside. Okay? So what is happening from within governs the entire way that you perceive life. So I want you guys to really keep this in mind, because it's very important for you to know. This is the true science. Okay? Intellectual scientists, modern scientists, have not been able to discover this yet. But this has been known by the ancients for many thousands of years. Okay? Please take into consideration. I'm doing what I can to give it a modern spin with the Rubik's Cube analogy. But that's how it works. Okay? So let's be aware of that. All right, let's go down for, I had one for Martine. Okay, so Martine had one, so I've done 2 so far, so we've got 3 more. Martine says, hi, I had surgery to both my arms 2 months ago. My scars are still quite painful. Request healing to heal and relieve the pain. Okay, yes, Martine, we will work on that as well too. So, Martine, right now I just want you to join me. Okay, so I want you just to place your hands together in prayer posture. Okay, taking a deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, now I just want you to tune into your heart. Feel your heart opening up like a blossoming flower. Feeling all of that heart light coming in between your palms. Okay, I want you just in the best way that you can. I know your arms are sore. Okay, just do what you can to kind of spread that light out. Okay, expand the hands as you're breathing in and breathing out. Reach them as far out as you can, as long as you feel you're able to. Okay, then just slowly bringing your hands back together and just saying to yourself, I completely believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. Okay. All right, very good. We will now go ahead and begin. God is making her better. God is making her better. God is making her better. Okay. Martine, infinite love and blessings to you. Okay. So I want you just to get some rest. Take it easy today. Let the spirit light come into you. Let it do the work that it needs to. And over the next little while, you'll notice that that pain will start to fade away. Okay. Infinite love and blessings to you, Martine. Thank you very much. Okay. I think we had one more paid request here. Okay, yeah, this one here is from Anna. So Anna says, request for healing for Janet Pope. She has been diagnosed with cancer, which can possibly not be treated. Thank you so much. Well, here's the thing. Can't be treated by modern means. Okay, guys, cancer is not some horrible, detrimental, uncurable disease. That's nothing but propaganda. Okay, do you guys know what cancer is? It's a fungus. Okay, that's all it is. And all we're doing is we're just canceling out the fungal aspects of the cancer within the body. Okay, so cancer is not some incurable disease. Diabetes is not some incurable disease. They're made to look that way so that you can empty out your wallet to pay for the doctor's bills, right? Or feeling that you need to go through radiation treatment or chemo or any of that stuff. And those are beyond archaic Neanderthal-like tactics. Okay, you don't need to go through all that nonsense. Okay, cancer really is very simple, and it can be eliminated very simply at the same time. Okay, I've worked with a couple of people who have had cancer. Okay, all I can really say is that they're recovering, and they're recovering very, very well. I can't say that I'm the guy here that has the cure for cancer, because I'm not going to say that. Okay, because again, it's all part of them at the same time. They have to really do this work. They have to open themselves up to know 100% cancer is not a threat to me, and it can be completely abolished from my being altogether. Okay, and so all I'm doing is helping them out to know that. Okay, so Anna, that's what we can do for Janet today. Okay, we can help her eliminate the cancer for good. Okay, now again, as long as she is in the mentality to assist with that, we will see a great success happen with that. Okay, so for Janet, Anna, again, if you want to send some healing in the background for her as well too, you're welcome to. Same with anybody else. And Anna, keep me updated. Let me know how she's doing after the healing today. Okay. It's also good that you guys are telling the people that you want to work with that healing work is being done on them. Okay. It's just a good courtesy to do. All right. So let's go ahead and do that now. I'm going to be calling in Janet Pope's higher self. Okay. She is present with me. Okay. And I'm just asking the higher self, is she willing to have the cancer eliminated from her being entirely? She is. Okay. Great. Let's do it. All right. So expanding the heart light, extending it out, and bringing that light back in. I completely believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. And we will now begin. God is making her better. God is making her better. God is making her better. Infinite love and blessings to Janet. Okay. So Anna, here's where I need you to do me a favor. Okay, I need you to do me a big favor here. Can you do that? All right. I want you to keep in touch with me about Janet's situation, because I'm going to keep in touch with everybody else here regarding this particular healing. Okay. Maybe we'll get an update next week or in the next couple of weeks. So Anna, you need to do me a big favor here, and you need to keep in touch with me by email. Okay? So I want you to go to newearthteachings.com. I want you to go to the contact page, and you send me a message, and you let me know how Janet is doing within about 1 to 2 weeks' time. Okay? And I want you to see in that way how she's doing, how things are going, to see again if she's truly accepted that the cancer can be eliminated from her body. If she has, then I can pretty much guarantee this cancer will be completely eliminated from her. Okay? This is all about healing through the will. Okay? Using the power of spirit through your will to heal completely. When I talked to her higher self, okay, she was saying, yes, she's ready to let this go. She's ready to clear this away. The modern doctors can't help her because they don't have the technology and they don't have the know-how to do it. Doesn't matter. They're not necessary. All that's necessary is the power of your spirit will. Okay? And from what I could tell from her own higher self, she has the spirit will to be well from this. Okay? So spirit light is in her right now. Cancer is being worked on. Please let me know. I want you to give me a promise. Okay? Please let me know within the next 1 to 2 weeks how she's doing. I'm not holding any expectations. I just want to see how she's doing, okay? And then I can let everybody else know about how she's doing. All right? Thank you very much, Anna. All right, so let's go to the last healing request, and then we're going to do a group healing, then we'll get right into the questions. Okay. Let me just kind of go back up to the top of the list, because that's where I was before the donations came in. Okay, so this one here is from Darling. Darling says, hi Brad, any chance of doing a healing for my 83-year-old mom? Shoulders and lower back. She can barely walk, and certainly not straight anymore, and her right arm continually falls asleep, causing her pain. Okay, so I think we're just going to work on her entire vertebrae. Okay, we're going to just basically work on the entire musculoskeletal system for her, and that will help her out. All right. So Darling, if you want to also assist, okay, I'll just refer to her as Darling's mom, which is a great name. So we'll work on her together, and again, if anybody else wants to send healing to her in the background, you certainly can as well. All right, so let's just take a moment now. I'm going to call in Darling's mother's higher self. Be present with me. Okay, she is present with me now. Yeah, I can feel that she's in a pretty weakened state, right? Her vitality is quite low. Okay, she's had a lot of trauma throughout her life. Been going through a great deal of sadness, depression, stress, anxiety. Okay, it's taken its toll on her. Okay, but we're going to help her out today. Help her to make things a little bit easier for her. Okay, so expanding out the heart light. Okay, bringing the hands back. I completely believe that the healing that she will receive will heal her. Okay, this is for Darling's mom, for her musculoskeletal system. Let's begin. God is making her better. God is making her better. God is making her better. Namaskar. Okay. So thank you very much, darling, for that. Like I said, your mother's just gone through a lot. Okay, but Spirit Light is entering into her right now, helping her out with that process, helping to ease up a lot of these things that she's going through. So let me know also how she's doing over the next little while. Okay? Blessings to you as well. Great. Thank you to all volunteers who are requesting healing today. We're now going to do a group healing, and then we're going to get into Q&A. Okay? So again, guys, reminder for Q&A, semi-personal or general in nature. So we're going to do a group healing right now. So what I want you to do right now is just to get yourself nice and relaxed, nice and comfortable, and just doing a body scan on yourself. Okay? Just start off at the top of your head, going all the way down the body, and just being aware of anything that you feel that is ready to come out, that you're ready to let go of, that you're ready to relinquish, and you're ready to surrender to. Okay? Once you find that, I just want you to imagine like you're pulling it right out of the chest. Okay? Like it's a soap bubble, and you're just seeing the contamination contained inside that soap bubble. Some people see it as black smoke, see it as a type of black liquidy tar. However you see it is however you see it, okay? But that's basically the contamination that's contained inside this clear soap bubble, okay? Now I want you just to place that directly in front of you. You may also notice that there will be some excretions coming out of the body as well too, and that's surface debris that's being pulled out. If that happens, do not be alarmed by that. If you're seeing that, if you're sensing that psychically, okay, don't be alarmed by that. That's all part of the process of what we're cleaning here, all together. All right. So now that you have extracted that, placing your hands upon the center of your chest, take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Hands in prayer posture, feeling your heart opening up like a blossoming flower, and feeling all of that spirit light coming in between your hands and expanding it out, extending it out. And then just bringing it back in now. I completely believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. If this is dedicated to somebody else, you're saying, I completely believe that the healing that they shall receive will heal them. Okay? So just keeping yourself contained inside this moment, following the breath, as we now begin the group healing collectively now. God is making them better. God is making them better. God is making them better. Okay. So for everybody here that has been doing the exercise with me right now, I just want you to answer the question just with a simple yes. Okay? Is that obstruction of the ball that contained that contamination, is that now completely gone from you? Okay, if it's gone, just answer with a yes in the chat. Okay, I'll just give a few seconds so some people can do that now. Go ahead. Okay, we're getting a few yeses here. Very good. Okay. So for those of you who may have the ball that's still remaining, and basically all I want you to do right now, if you're noticing that there's still a little bit remaining there, I want you just to look at that ball right now. Okay, maybe there you just see there's a little bit of crumbs, maybe there's a little bit of debris there still, that's okay. And I want you just to put your body and your mind aside, as if I was to take you out of your body right now, and you realize that it's, that you're looking at your physical body there, okay? And I'm taking you out of the mind right now. You realize that the mind is just a sphere representing these bundle of thoughts, feelings, sensations, and emotions. Okay? So I want you to look at that sphere, that obstruction, that thing that you pulled out of your chest. And if it still remains, a couple of you are saying no, and that's okay. And some of you may not have it fully dissolved, and that's not a problem. I just want you to follow through with me here. Okay, so you're taking yourself out of the body. You're taking yourself out of the mind. So if I remove you from the body and the mind, what remains? Awareness. Okay? So I want you now just to feel yourself as awareness, and I want you to shine that light upon that ball. Okay, and this is specifically for the people who said no. Okay? I want you to shine your awareness upon that ball, and I want you to surrender to everything that is inside that ball that it represents to you. Okay? Maybe it's a physical pain. Maybe it's an emotional pain. Maybe it's a mental pain. It's okay. Whatever it is, I want you to completely surrender to it. You're giving up all identity. You're giving up all obsession about it, all attachment to it, all responsibility and ownership to it. You're relinquishing all of that. I want you to completely surrender to it and let it go. As you're surrendering, I want you to imagine that what's inside that ball right now is just turning into vapor. As you're surrendering, you're watching everything inside that ball turning to vapor. Okay? Once you feel everything is now completely emptied inside that ball because you've surrendered to it, just snap your fingers. And that will release the ball as well. It'll pop the ball. Done. Okay? So let it all turn into vapor. Once the ball is empty, snap your fingers, the ball will disappear. So for those of you who have said no, okay, is the ball now empty and gone? So that's the question I have for the people who said no. With you surrendering to everything, watching everything turn into vapor, watching that empty ball, snap your fingers, is it now gone? Great. Good job. Getting a lot of yeses here. Very good. So again, guys, what I'm basically teaching you here is how you are working with the release ball method. I'm giving you kind of a miniature version of the release ball method. You see, guys, how simple it is? Okay. Elizabeth says, I feel a little bit of nausea. That's okay. Then that's probably something that's attached to the physical as well, too. So it's something that was nauseating, all right? And that's okay. Sometimes we may get that side effect because it was attaching to the physical body. It was attaching to a physical property representing your stomach. Believe me when I say the nausea will pass, okay? So what I want you to do is just fill yourself with air, okay? Breathe in, breathe out, direct it right into the stomach. Okay? And I want you just to continue to do that breath, oxygenate the stomach. That's going to help pass. So Elizabeth, with what you were holding on to, it was deeply attached to your physical, okay? Which means it was making you sick, okay? The very thing that was attached to you was making your stomach sick. So now that it's being released, it's a process, it's a transition, okay? So just keep breathing into your stomach, okay? If you want to, you can drink like some club soda, just maybe a little bit of carbonation just to help settle the stomach as well too, okay? Anything carbonated, okay? That can also help to heal the stomach quite a bit. You have gravel too if you have some, okay? But that's just helping you to realize something was attached to your stomach. You're clearing it out right now. Now you're just feeling the after effects that nausea was there. So whatever it was, that's what was making you nauseous in the first place. Okay? Thank you very much, guys. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to Q&A. So let's go ahead and switch gears. and we're going to go into questions. Like I said, guys, if you do have questions, make sure they're semi-personal or general in nature. I'll have my tarot cards here on standby, and we will go into Q&A. So what I'm going to do first and foremost, before we get into Q&A, is we're just going to do a check-in, okay? So we're going to be checking in just in regards to the month of February, okay? So what is February going to bring in for the world, okay? So we're going to be doing what I call my Circle of 9 spread for the month of February for the entire planet. And then we'll get into some questions that you guys have. So let's take a look at that question. What is the momentum ahead for the entire world for the month of February? So we're kind of looking at the last part of January, and we move into February, and look into late February, and we're looking at the general outlook of February, the general advice for February, and the end result for the month of February for the entire planet. All right. So let's take a look firstly at the recent past. Okay. Well, there's definitely been some significant shifts, some significant changes taking place. January certainly represented a month of transformation, a month of shifts, okay? A month in that sense of some sort of new removal, earth shifts, earth transformations, right? When we're really looking at the pentacles, we're looking at earth energies, right? So we're seeing a lot of practical shifts taking place. A lot of the practical shifts that are coming together are certainly moving forward towards the better. We have the yellow sky here. We represent a positive light. It's a positive light. There's something transformative. There's something creative relating to the positive shifts that late January has been bringing for us, okay? It's certainly balancing a lot of things out. As I was talking about yesterday on New Earth Tarot, that everything that's taking place right now is all part of kind of like a veil that's ready to be opened up entirely, okay? So we're seeing a veil come to the point where it's going to start opening up and revealing a lot of stuff, but there's still a lot of hidden stuff behind the scenes. We're seeing things in plain sight, but again, there's kind of like a veil over it. You can't really see what's going on. Something needs to make sense with this. What is going to make sense later on. So we're seeing a shifting of energies. Again, this is another earth energy. We have more pentacles here, right? So we're seeing the idea of balance being restored. As I've talked about, that 2023 feels more like a grace year. Okay, a lot more planets are going to start going direct here astrologically. So we're seeing kind of an ebb and flow. We're seeing a rebalancing of a lot of energies that have been out of alignment for quite some time because we've had chaotic energies. 2020, 2021, 2022 have been years of intense chaotic energies. Just really sucker punches, I would say, for the collective altogether. So we're starting to see some stabilization coming together here. So this is now moving into the early part of February. What's happening? Okay, well, we got wands, so we're looking into action, we're looking into fire, right? We're seeing movement taking place. So it's kind of like we're designing this machine with all these gears, and now we're turning on this machine and the gears are going to start spinning, right? And we're moving places, right? So there's going to be some effects throughout countries that are going to represent new transformations to government, new transformations to leadership, may also have some technological breakthroughs, some financial breakthroughs as well too. This new well-oiled machine is now going to start spinning, and it's going to affect a lot of different countries all over the planet for early February. So again, this is showing that we're traveling, we're going places, there's movement taking place, okay? The action is taking place. I think we're still scrubbing a lot of the old debris, the old guard that has been here for a very long time. A lot of that's being scrubbed away, okay? And this is also the idea pertaining to the life lesson. It's a time of healing. It's a time of rejuvenation. It's also in that sense may represent the idea of off-world assistance, that there's more further off-world assistance that's coming about and helping in the scrubbing down of a lot of these things that have been dwindling for quite a few years now. So again, we're going to see transformation in leadership, transformation in technology, transformation in monetary systems, financial systems, transformation in education, how we live our life. All these stones are being turned over. Okay? And like I said, I'm talking about the entire planet here. I'm not talking about any particular country. Looking into the later end of February, February looks really good. February looks very bright and very beautiful. So we have 10. So we're seeing the idea of the conclusion of endings, and we're about to see a new birth. Okay? Something joyous, something renewed, emotional sweetness, right? Emotional honey is coming about. So we're seeing celebration. We're starting to see things turn around. So as I was talking about yesterday, a lot of the events that were supposed to happen in 2023 was meant to be very, very dark, very horrific, very chaotic, very dystopian. But then remember, I've talked about the cosmic denial, that cosmic denial stamp. We want to do this. Nope, denied. We want to try and create this weather modification technology. Nope, denied. We're going to try and threaten this city. Nope, denied. Okay, getting all of these cosmic denial stamps hitting these agendas that they were trying to pull out. Okay? So this again is just showing more motion. This is going to continue. It's going to continue past February. It's going to go into March. It's going to go into April. So there's a lot of joyous, like I said, graceful energies that are coming together here for the month of February. February looks very, very positive. Looks very transformative. Okay. So what about the general outlook for the entire planet? Well, we're getting over squabbles. We're getting over the fights. Okay. So 5 represents adaptability and change. What this also telling me in that sense is that the collective still needs to get used to thinking that things aren't going to be as bad as they think they are. We've been so completely victimized with manipulation, with abuse, with lies, with slander, right, with hurt of all different types. And we still think that the end times are coming. But again, if we were able to objectively look at all of the things that they were planning to do that are not coming right now, you would actually start to see this, feel this breath of fresh air coming in 2023. People are still very much in the idea of being warlike, right? They want to put up their dukes. They want to fight, right? They think that this, again, is still representing signification of end times in that way. So people will still be somewhat hostile and in many ways paranoid about these changes that are ahead. We're looking at graceful energies, and they will try to turn it into chaotic because they're hurt, right? They're hurt, they're abused. They don't want to put down their swords and their shields. They want to kerfuffle a little bit. But we're seeing how transformation is happening because of our resolve to see change. But even when change is coming about from what you're asking for, you're still seeing the chaos, right? And this is where people need help, okay? There needs to be a love upon the planet. There needs to be a kindness. There needs to be a compassion upon the planet, okay? And this is kind of the general advice. People are still going to slander each other, right? No, this is a wartime. This is this war situation. It's end time. It's going to be horrifying and all that. And again, this is kind of the person that wants to start the trouble, right? The trolls, we can often say. The normies, in that sense, that basically try to make all these things more horrible than they are. Well, this is where we are right now. We have to kind of have to let this person kind of have their space, because even though things are changing, people don't want to feel like it is. They still want to put up their dukes. They still want to, again, take out the swords and the shields and battle. And this is where we say, let's just leave him alone. Leave him alone. Let's give him love from a distance. He needs to take his time, right? Cooler heads prevail. Okay. And that's really what's being shared here, because people are injured, right? And I understand that. People are certainly injured. They're hurt. They have been, basically just molested by a lot of these particular agendas that have been happening over the past few years. And they're angry. And they feel like they want justice, and they want justice, but what they're not seeing is that justice is already happening. That's what 2022 was all about. It was a year of action, it was a year of justice, and it was a year of healing. A lot of that was dished out in 2022, but we don't hear about it. And that's why we go crazy, right? We don't have the mainstream media talking about it. Even a lot of the alternative streams don't talk about it. There's people like me that come in and give little bits of detail about it, whether it's me or Janine or others like us that come in and give a little bit of details with it, but we're not CNN. Okay, we're not MSNBC, we're not Fox News. We don't have that kind of reach. But nonetheless, that's what's happening. Okay? People still want to fight. They still want to retaliate. They still want to defend. They still want to demand justice. They're still extremely angry. And they need to be angry for a little bit longer, because that again is all part of resolve, of helping to clear up a lot of what is happening on the planet, to give it a good cleansing. Okay, so this is the end result. It's temperance. Okay, we're shifting things, we're transmuting everything. We need to start catching up with how things actually are, rather than living in the past. Right? Catch up with how things are. Dip that other water into the new cup that you're holding. Okay, so let's bring some temperance to the entire situation. Let's balance everything. Let's create synthesis. Let's transmute these energies into something greater. All right, so that is what I have for the outlook for the entire planet for the month of February. So altogether, February looks very, very good. But again, a lot of wounded people that are still trying to make this graceful energy, graceful direct connection of energies coming together look horrifying. Okay, unfortunately, guys, you're going to meet people like that. You're going to meet people who think that the world is ending, that there's going to be dystopian society, there's going to be dystopian culture, everything's going to be totalitarianism, and it's going to be horrifying. And I keep saying, guys, that's not what's happening at all. That's not happening. It may look that way, particularly on the MSM paintbrushing it, but that's not what's going to come together. What people talk about and what actually happens are two different things, right? It's not going to be a dystopian future. We're seeing that collapse now, okay? Regardless if it's talked about, regardless if it's threatened, that's not what's going to come to pass, all right? So, thank you, everybody. That's what I wanted to share in regards to February. So we're going to go ahead now and move down the list and see what other questions we have here. Okay. So just give me a moment here, guys. I'm still just looking at questions. Okay, here's one from Karina. Karina says, question, what can you say about it's 75% of people without souls or clones and only 25% human on Earth right now? I'm not too sure what you're asking. If I'm trying to make out your question right now, it sounds like you're saying that the majority of people on the planet are soulless clones. I guess that's what you're asking. And only about a quarter of us are actually soulful. Okay. Guys, that all by itself is nothing but distortion. Okay. But we'll look into the cards. Okay. I'll let the cards speak for themselves. Okay. And we'll see what the cards have to say. All right. Let's see about that particular question. I'm not sure where people are coming up with this idea. I'm not sure if they've singularly inspected every single person on this planet to see if they're soulless or not. So I'm not too sure where people are coming up with these ideas. It's very, very inventive. Well, let's take a look. Okay, so that's not what I'm getting by the cards at all. Okay, I'm not getting anything in regards to soulless people, a majority of soulless people here. And I'm seeing some very soulful people on the planet here. Okay, in majority sense. The whole idea, guys, is you really cannot function without soul, right? There's androids and there's clones in that sense, but who is it that puts them together? Soulful beings. Okay, you cannot exist without God. You cannot exist without soul. Okay. So even if we're looking at automatons, that's really all clones represent. They're just different types of androids. They're organic androids in that way. But they're still created by soulful creators, right? If you do not have a soul, you cannot create. If you do not have a soul, you really can't do anything here, okay? So there really is no such thing as something that's soulless, because it's always manifested by that which is soul, okay? A lot of people are getting confused by that. So again, that's not what I'm seeing in the cards at all. I'm seeing the complete opposite of what you're saying here, Karina. Okay? There is nothing here that I can see about people being soulless. This is where we need to discern this information. Say, when we're looking at this information, you got to check in with your heart, because this is not the truth at all. Okay? No, there are a great majority of soulful beings on this planet. Okay? Page of Wands. So again, opportunity for growth, opportunity for learning, opportunity to see how creative the majority of the planet is, because we are very, very creative beings. It's not to say that there haven't been cloning programs. It's not to say that there haven't been androids or automatons or programmable life forms. There certainly is. But those are something that becomes so obvious, right? If you guys were able to look at a clone, you would know that that person has no real human characteristics itself. I wouldn't even call it a person. It's nothing but a contraption. Okay, it's an object. That's what it'd be. It's an animated puppet. Okay, guys, the Men in Black would represent the idea of clones. Okay, and they act completely inhuman. Okay, they're remote controlled. It's basically what they represent. And people who have had encounters with the Men in Black say that these people they're not a human at all. There's nothing about them that's human. They're completely inhuman. They're clones, something of that nature. But the way they act, the way they walk, the way they talk is so unbelievably robotic, you can't even relate to them. Okay, it's so mechanical. So again, as I said, I'm not getting anything of that nature. Okay, the idea that the people on this planet, the great majority, are very much soulful beings. Okay, so I'm not too sure who's spilling this stuff out, right? I would basically question a lot of where they're getting their grounds from, where they're getting this resource information from. It's certainly not what I'm getting at all. It's the complete and total opposite. All right? Thank you for your question, Karina. Okay. Okay, here's one here from Sensei. Sensei says, question, Brad, what is the mission of the children that are under the age of 10 that have incarnated on Terra in gratitude? We can't really answer that collectively, okay? Because you have to understand that if we were to answer that collectively, Sensei, you're talking about the idea of some particular being that has absolutely no will of their own, right? They have no form of decisive will. So if we say every 10-year-old that's here is here to do this, no, okay? The only thing I could really answer altogether pertaining to that is why we're all here on the planet, okay? Do any of you know why we're here on the planet? What's the one thing that we're looking for? Can anybody answer that question? Okay. If I'm asking that question right now, what is the one thing that all of us are here for? What do you think that is? Because I can guarantee it's the one reason why you're all here. Okay. So, Alita has it right. Happiness. You're all here because you want happiness. That's it. It's the only reason you're here. If this was not about happiness, you wouldn't be here. Right? It's all about happiness. We can call it love. We can call it joy. We can call it compassion. But it really just comes down to happiness. I just want to be happy. That's why every single soul incarnates here on this planet. They want happiness. They want bliss. Right? So that's all we're over here. So when you're looking at a 10-year-old, a 5-year-old, right? A 5-year-old wants happiness just as much as a 95-year-old wants happiness. A 10-year-old wants happiness just as much as an 80-year-old wants happiness. A 20-year-old wants happiness just as much as a 40-year-old wants happiness. It's all for happiness' sake. So that's really all I can answer. I can't really do a reading about that because we don't really have a common ground for that. It's not about looking at these things because, again, guys, we got to get out of this stereotyping. I feel like, okay, well, if there's a 10-year-old here and there's a bunch of 10-year-olds, then they must all be here for the same thing. Other than happiness, that's about it, right? That's why every living being is here. Even the animals are here because of happiness. Even the mineral, the vegetation kingdoms are here because of happiness. Even the atomic realms are here because of happiness. It's all because of happiness. That's why we incarnate. If we wanted to incarnate, so we want misery, well, we're not going to incarnate. We're not going to play that game. We want to play this incarnation game to see the happiness that we are. That's the big reason, okay? So when you see the young children coming in, as I've talked about, Dolores Cannon has talked about this as well too, that they're basically a new type of species. They're a new type of humanity, okay? Maybe that's what you're trying to ask. Are they very, very different? Well, they basically have advantages, because they're basically looking at the newer models of humans. Their DNA is arranged a little bit differently. For some, it may be arranged a little bit more than what for people who have been here on the earth plane for a little bit longer, okay? Now, some people are asking about the question, because I know this is a little bit offset with Sensei's question. But some people say, oh, Brad, are we going to be able to transmute our DNA from 2 strands to 3 strands here in this life? No. Okay? In order for you to have 3 strands of DNA, you need to be born with that. Okay? It requires fertility. Fertility growth. Fertility expansion. That is what enables a 3-strand DNA helix. Okay? You are not going to go through life when your body is calibrated with 2 strands of DNA. That's not possible. Okay? It's not to say you don't have 12 strands and all that stuff, but a lot of those are still condensed in your model, in your makeup altogether, in your genome. So again, someone who comes together on this planet who has 3 strands of DNA or even 12 strands of DNA. I've met someone, or I've met someone who knows this person who has 12 strands of DNA. Okay? And their DNA looks like a snowflake. But that happened through their own fertility cycle. A fertility cycle is necessary in order for a person to have that. And it's not so much the body as it is the soul, which means that's quite an advanced soul who is able to manifest multiple strands of DNA for them to come in. Okay? So some people are thinking, if I meditate more, I'm going to turn my double helix into a triple helix. It's not going to work. It's not going to happen. It's not to say that you don't have other bodies that have that, and you can certainly integrate those bodies within yourself, but this body, this physical body, based upon the genome that you have, is going to stay that way. Okay, you can connect to other variances of yourself that may have triple helix DNA strand, quadruple helix DNA strand, all the way up to 12 strands of DNA. Okay, but this vessel itself, if you're noticing that you see that, it has a double helix, it's going to remain a double helix. Okay? So we are not able to change the idea of the number of strands within a DNA to which you have been born with. Okay? The fertility cycle is responsible for that. You need to actually go back into a fertility cycle to where everything is being arranged through proteins, through mitochondria, through everything. It is too sophisticated for you to try and do that in adulthood. Okay? So I've talked to a lot of people about that throughout the years. About, yeah, Brad, I think I have like 3 strands of DNA. Did you go get a blood test? Well, no. Okay, go get a blood test and let's see. Right? So the whole idea is that, yes, more multiple strands of DNA can happen, but it needs to happen through the fertility cycle. It needs to come through the body when it is developing. You cannot have it coming later in life. That's not possible. Not with how our technology is. If you have maybe some of the advanced off-world technology, maybe, but not in the way that we operate here. Okay? So it needs to come through a fertility cycle. That's how it's made. All right? So it's kind of like you have this old computer system and say, well, can I completely rebuild this old technological system to get it as fast as the day's computer? Not really. Why don't you just go buy a new computer? That old computer that's running from the 1980s with a big floppy drive and all that stuff, and you're trying to get it all decked up with the current modern technological advances, there's no point. Why not just take that computer out of the way and get a new one? Right? I'm not saying you guys need to go get a new body, but this is the idea of you tuning into other bodies that do have that DNA helix, that may have multiple strands of DNA, and you're courting it to yourself, and you're relaying information from those other bodies. Okay? Guys, there's realms that exist that are just completely made of DNA. Did you guys know that? You are actually able to tune into DNA realms. Okay? They're basically like voids, but they basically just contain like DNA strands. Or basically you could say like the light, the luminous energies of DNA. You can actually tune into these realms that contain these sophistications that can even go up to 144 strands of DNA, and you can plug it into yourself. So even though you have a double helix, you're tuning into these realms that are completely made of DNA, that are completely compatible with your genome, and you can plug it into yourself. Okay? So that takes a little bit of work. It takes some meditation in that way. But what you're doing is you're functioning as like a router in that way. You're functioning as a proxy. And so you have all these other realms that are doing all this DNA processing with you, and you're plugging it into yourself, and you're being like a relay box. You're being like a relay transmitter for this information. It takes a lot of work, but nonetheless it can be done. Right? Again, it's kind of like you have to empty out your own cache of yourself and go into these particular DNA realms and just start plugging these DNA components into yourself. And even though you're a double helix, you're still getting this information that is applied through a multi-helix DNA dimension. Okay, so those exist at the same time. Just some food for thought for you guys, right? A little bit of extra stuff for you. But yeah, DNA realms exist where it's just DNA, nothing else. And you can tune into those. All right. Okay, let's go through the list here a little bit more. I'm just kind of randomly going through the list here, guys. I'm just kind of randomly looking at questions. Yeah, Maria says, Janine and Ashley Sage did a deep dive last week on Friday. The idea of soulless people came into them while they were talking about non-playable characters. Okay, so that's kind of a video game reference with non-playable characters. Now, Janine also said that there's a lot more to it than what I'm sharing here. Okay, so you guys are only going to be able to interpret so much when you get through cards like this, right? You have to really kind of get the download altogether. So what Janine and Ashley were looking at, it was great. They were sharing. I actually tuned into that video a couple days ago myself, okay? Because I was just looking around and it was a recommended video on my feed and I checked it out. It's great. I'm glad they're looking into that stuff. It's a little bit more deeper than what they're revealing though, okay? The whole idea here in that sense is that a lot of these particular programs are actually much more holographic in that way. They're basically holographic materialized conduits, okay? And they basically have prearranged programs in them. So it's true there's a type of artificiality relating to what we commonly refer to as non-playable characters. We can also refer to them as background people. Okay, Dolores Cannon referred to them as backdrop people. Okay, Adronis referred to them as living extras or background people in that way. And basically we're trying to figure them out. We're basically in that sense that they feel like they've gone through certain forms of prearranged programs. These are also referred to as programmable life forms. Okay, programmable life forms basically have these particular types of mannerisms and behavioral protocols embedded into their own brain. So it's almost like operating a computer in that way. But in that sense, they're really no more slick than the idea of the AI that we're trying to create right now. Has this been on the planet? Yes, but it's not as widespread as we think. Okay, it has been in that sense somewhat of a secret program, and a lot of that program has been deactivated, a lot of it, okay? Because a lot of these represent disruptor programs, and a lot of these disruptor programs have basically been retired from service, okay? If you guys want to go ahead and pull tarots on what I'm telling you right now, go for it, okay? So the tarot can tell you right now, is what Brad's saying true? You can go ahead and pull cards on it, okay? So yes, it's true, fundamentally true. We have what we call non-playable characters. But again, the thing is, a lot of people with these labels think of it in different ways, okay? Or look at non-playable characters in video games. It's kind of like they're just conduits here, helping to guide you through a quest. Like if we're looking at it in a video game analogy, you can't play with these characters. They're just part of the engine, okay? And that's true. A lot of these particular characters are holograms. Did you know, guys, that there is a holographic version of you basically on the other side of the world right now, just walking around in the background? Okay? There's a holographic version of me, probably in Germany, in Estonia, in Persia, in Sweden, just filling up space in the background. And that's a hologram created by the Earth, the intelligence of the Earth. So it's not always about the idea of human or non-human design pertaining to sentient life. The Earth also has the capability to fill up scenery pertaining to other people based upon her own intention to do so, because it fits the scene. I've talked about this for years with Adronis. Okay? Dolores Cannon has talked about it very similarly as well too. So this is a very real phenomenon. So it depends on what you mean by a non-playable character. It depends if you're talking about living extras. It depends if you're talking about background people. It depends if you're talking about programmable life forms. It depends if you're talking about clones. It depends if you're talking about holograms. There are different variances pertaining to this. It's not so cut and dry. This is why I say you have to go a little bit further than what the cards can reveal to you. Okay? There needs to be specific questions that need to be asked through the tarot that can bring about some good revealing information. The tarot is great, that's why I use it, right? But you're only going to get so much. There's only so much it's going to be able to tell you. A lot of this needs to kind of go deeper. You have to kind of look at the placeholders of what the tarot is trying to tell you, and you're going to go underneath and you're going to find more information pertaining to that. So yeah, we got non-playable characters, sure. Okay, we got background people, we got living extras, we got clones, we got programmable life forms, we got holograms, we got these holograms that are naturally being created by the earth to fill scenery, right? This is it, guys. We have so much on this planet that we simply just cannot simplify through one particular term of an NPC, okay? So it's a little more complicated, and this is why Janine says there's a lot more to it, okay? And I'm doing my best to share for it. Even with what I'm sharing, there's a lot more to it, okay? But it's not so cut and dry, and you guys have to get out of that idea of thinking that one thing is cut and dry, okay, it's simplified, and that's it. You have to use this term. If you don't use this term, you don't know what you're talking about. It's not going to work, and it's not going to happen. No. There's always going to be variables pertaining to different terms. If it was so cut and dry, where everything is so simple, and you just use one term, we won't be so confused as we are. But you say non-playable character to a person has 1,000 definitions for that. You take a look at clones, person has 1,000 definitions for that. You cannot get something so cut and dry. This is why, again, a lot of the information that we share through verbatim, it's not very helpful. Only helps somewhat. It's when you truly feel these things inside the heart. That's where you get clarity. All right? But yes, I'm very familiar with the video that you speak of, Maria. Thank you for that. Okay. Okay, let me go down the list here a bit more. I think we're going to probably take about 1 or 2 more questions, guys, and we're going to wrap up. Okay, Demi asked the question, is your dream state your alternate reality? There is no such thing as an alternate reality. Okay? That's just a perception. Guys, you are everyone and you are everything. Until you learn how to identify with an atom, you will think that everything's a compartment. You will think everything's a dresser drawer. That up here, here's the top drawer, here's the middle drawer, here's the lower drawer. And this is a great distortion. The separate self does not know how the universe works. The separate self does not know how dimensions work. The separate self doesn't even know how the mind works. The separate self does not know how the body works. The separate self doesn't even know how you work. Okay? And as long as we keep looking at all these things as alternate realities and compartments here and compartments there and compartments that, you're looking at this from a separate self-consciousness. Everything is you. Everyone is you. Everywhere is you. All that is you. And that's the mentality that you want to move in. Not even a mentality, it's the nature of yourself. We get into these compartmentalized perspectives of feeling that, okay, well, if I'm looking at a dream state, that must be an alternate reality. No, because you're experiencing it. Whatever you experience is your reality. Okay? If I'm going off into a dream state and all of a sudden I see a 21-year-old Brad with the Eminem haircut again, he's wearing the tight black shirt, he's got the golden chain and all that stuff like that, and he's got a hipster hat on his head. I'm experiencing that right now. Now, am I living that life concurrently? No. But I'm experiencing that all together. What you experience is your life. There's only the one life. There's only the one way, the one nature, the one spirit, okay? The one God, the one consciousness. That's how you want to start seeing everything, right? And this is, again, how you walk towards through the nature of enlightenment. Enlightenment just means the realization of the self. That's all it is. You realize who you are. And that should be your first goal beyond anything, is to move yourself into that enlightenment path, is to know who you truly are. So looking at the idea of an alternate reality really doesn't even exist. Again, we get that confused because we don't think we're living that person's life. But did you not witness that version of yourself? Did you not just witness that version of Brad with the hipster hat on and so forth? Right? Okay, well, that's me witnessing that. So it's not an alternate reality. I've witnessed that. Experience granted me that. Experience grants me everything. There is no such thing as an alternate reality. Because in order for there to be an alternate reality, you must bear witness to it. To that which you bear witness to is reality together, is life together, is experience together. Okay? I want you to look at that. When you learn to identify with every single atom, you realize there's only one life. There's only one creation. There's only one God. Everything just comes back to one. Right? And that's me showing you this, guys, through the non-dual way. Okay? The non-dual way is the true way. Anything that is out of the non-dual is not the truth. Okay? Look at nature. If you look at nature all around you, nature exuberates the non-dual. Okay? Do you ever see a tree getting mad at you because you're entering a forest? Does it want to break its trunk down and squash you? No. Everybody is welcome into the forest. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter if you're a young child. Doesn't matter if you're a middle-aged spiritual teacher. Doesn't matter if you're an old, greedy man. Everybody's welcome into the forest. Everybody's welcome on the earth, right? You don't have these forms of nature, these trees trying to kill you, right? It's all about the non-dual. And if you really want to understand the nature of non-dual, you go into nature. Nature teaches it to you when you get quiet. All right? One last question, guys. I'm going to wrap up. Okay. Well, I think this isn't a question. It's a comment, but I think we'll end on this. So Judith says, Brad, this is so amazing. Life, the universe, it's such a magical place. I wish I had 100 more years to discover more of this journey of life. I can see what you're saying in regards to the body. But guys, you're immortal. Okay? You guys are eternal. All of us are eternal. We are all infinite. Right? That's the nature of ourselves. So we do not have a body, right? Maybe we leave this world when we're 95 years old, 100 years old, what have you. Okay? We leave this body behind. Is that the end of you? No. Does that mean you can't explore these things anymore? Nope. You can explore all of these things. Rather, you can explore them much more in a deeper understanding by leaving the physical body, because your physical body is severely programmed. Unless you're learning to deprogram your body, and you can experience a lot of these great things, yes. But that doesn't mean that that's the end of the journey for you. That doesn't mean it's the end of the line. Even when you leave this physical body, when you return back into your transient form, you can go anywhere. You can be anyone. You can do anything. Okay? And you can explore all these things all together. It is not the end of you. Right? We got to get out of this mentality of thinking that I'm the body and I'm the mind. That's separate self-consciousness, and that's ignorance. When this body is done, you are able to go and do whatever you want. I mean that very literally, guys. You can go and do whatever you want, completely. But if you're holding on to things, then those are going to be the repetitive patterns that are going to manifest as holograms into your life. If I feel I was greedy, if I felt I was a jealous type, if I felt I was angry, I was blowing up at everybody, I'm triggered by everything, well, then you're going to manifest those things as well. Until you learn to be completely at peace with everyone and everything, those things will follow you. Again and again, lifetime after lifetime, and even in between. So this is why you have the opportunity right now to look at these things, to learn how to surrender, to clear away all these things. Like I said, take charge of your Rubik's Cube and start shifting everything. You have the ability to explore the entire universe, whether you're in a body or not. You have the ability to go and explore other galaxies, to explore other dimensions. You can go into these DNA realms, as I'm talking about. Okay? You can go and explore them. They can educate you about how to align a body to have 144 strands. Okay? It can teach you this. But you have to be open to that. You have to be open to these things and say, I don't know, I don't believe in these things. And well, then you're not going to be able to experience that. Your belief is a detriment to yourself. It is not a liberation. As long as you keep putting these picketed fences up all around yourself, you're only going to be able to play with what you're available. And that is the same when you leave your body. You can go and you can do everything, but if you're putting these guarded fences around yourself, you're going to be bouncing back and forth against walls because you're not letting yourself open up as much as you can. How do we open ourselves up? We surrender. We do the release ball method. Just like that. Everything gets surrendered to. And now all these fences, these walls, these gates, these cages get taken down. These shackles, these binds get taken off of you. And now you have an open playground of all of creation to explore. And you can go beyond creation into the unmanifest. You can go home with God, go back to who you really are. Because who you really are is unmanifested. Who you really are is the creative force, not the created, not the manifested. Even when you're looking at manifestation, that still represents thought. That still represents the past. It's when you come into the complete and total unmanifest of being completely and totally present that you know that you are God. And that is enlightenment, is to see yourself as nothing, is to see yourself as unmanifest, seeing yourself without desires, without a will, without anything that represents some form of complement to manifestation and creation. You get out of that and you see yourself as unmanifest. I am nothing. Congratulations. You have realized yourself because you know that you're nothing, right? You cannot identify yourself. You are identityless. You are faceless. You are bodiless. You are formless. You are imageless. You are objectless. You are mindless. And you are now the unmanifest. This is what people spend years and years to do, to go into samadhi, to go into deep absorption, where they're simply absorbing the unmanifest into themselves, where they know, I am. That's the answer to who I am, is I am. When you are there, that's your realization. When you are there, that is your enlightenment. Brad, how do I get there? You drop everything that you think you are. You drop everything that you feel you are, like gigantic bags being dropped on the ground, and you simply are. Now you are enlightened. Now you realize, now you get it. And now I can come out of the unmanifest and I come back into the manifested world and say, yeah, I can play with whatever I want to play in the manifest, but it doesn't matter because I know who I really am. And this is why I can say I know every single one of you. Not because of your manifestation attractions, but because of who you truly are as the unmanifest. That is what I know of you. All right? Thank you, everybody, for being a part of this podcast today. I'll be back next week for another episode of New Earth Tarot and New Earth TV Live. I'll work to get some videos out this week. I'm working on it if AetherX doesn't get too busy. So thank you again for joining me today, and I'll speak to you again in another perspective of the now. Om Shanti 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 Namaskar, and may it be well with you. Take care. Thank you so much for tuning in to New Earth Teachings on YouTube. Don't forget to check out our websites, newearthteachings.com, where you can do private sessions with me, and also atherx.co. And through AetherX, you'll be able to pick up your Healing Code Cards body deck, your mind deck, and your energy deck through AetherX. You will also be able to pick up the Ether Bed kit. That is also on AetherX as well. Not to mention that you'll also be able to pick up some apparel and accessories that is also available on AetherX. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next one. Om Shanti 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 Namaskar, and may it be well with you.